This is my 5th video in the last 24 hours, and I think I really need to chill because sooner or later I'm not going to have enough voice for the NFL draft videos I'm going to have to make. So let's get a quick intro under the way before we get to this information, because it's some pretty game-changing information that could really change the way the New England Patriots are going to look going into this NFL season. Really quickly, before we get to the content, just do me a favor and sack the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really just takes you a second. It does wonders for my channel. For all you know, your like is the difference between us hitting 1 million subscribers and us staying at the current subscriber mark we're at today, which I'm very thankful for. And if you happen to really enjoy my content, you like the fact that we spam 2 to 3 videos a day when there is news and don't really upload when there isn't any news, then consider subscribing and turning on our notifications. And now that we got all that out of the way, break! Mike check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? We're a few hours away from having a lot of our questions answered. A few hours away from all the rumors officially going away, all the speculation dissipating into the air, and us finally being able to daydream about our future NFL teams, or if you're a Chicago Bears fan, have a horrible nightmare about how your team is going to look next year. Sorry, Bears fans. But jokes aside, there's been one question that has been on all of our minds. The moment the San Francisco 49ers traded up to the number 3 pick in the NFL draft, there's been one question. What the hell are they going to do with the man that was under center in the Super Bowl not last year, but the year before? Look, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't Patrick Mahomes. Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't Tom Brady. But Jimmy Garoppolo was good enough to get a very good team to the Super Bowl. And yes, I'm sure if you're a 49ers fan, you'd make an argument that if he made a specific pass, then hey, he could be a Super Bowl champion currently. But no matter what, you have to give the man his respect and his props. And you might be wondering, okay, if that's the case, why are the 49ers trying to move on from him? Why are they selecting a quarterback at the number 3 pick in the NFL draft? Well, the issue with Jimmy Garoppolo has never really been his abilities on field. At least that's what I'm getting from this situation. Maybe this is just some sort of smoke screen in of itself. But when Kyle Shanahan was asked why trade up for a quarterback,
the biggest thing with Jimmy is his injuries. It's been very tough for us when he's been hurt, and and it's happened 2 out of these 3 years. And that's where it starts. And Jimmy knows that. I have been very upfront with him with everything. And, we've been Zooming these last 2 weeks. I'm excited to get him in here coming up, especially when this draft's over. But I feel very fortunate taking a rookie quarterback that we do have a guy like Jimmy, we didn't sign a guy who's capable or has the history of being a starter right away. But we have a guy who every time he's been a starter, he's played at a high level. So to have that with Jimmy while adding a rookie quarterback gives us a lot of leeway into this. I'm not going to set anything in stone, but I know that's a situation that it would be hard to get rid of. I mean, when you take a rookie quarterback and you have a veteran like Jimmy, who we know we can win with, just to move on from that is something that it's not easy to do. That is a good situation for us, and I think that's something that will be important to us this year.
He pretty much made it seem like, hey, ever since Jimmy came to the 49ers, there's been 2 out of 3 years where he's gone down with injuries, and as a result, it's really crippled our potential. And with that being said, we really need a quarterback that is just going to be on the field, or at least a contingency plan. And he made it seem like, okay, Jimmy's going to be on the roster still, either as an extremely high-end backup or as a player that is going to be the starter until our number 3 pick is ready to get going. And let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think the number 3 pick is going to be? We just dropped a mock draft. This is the video prior to this one. So let me know in the comment section who you think it's going to be. Personally, I can't imagine it being anyone else but Justin Fields, but that's just me. Now, here's what's interesting. The New England Patriots clearly are in the market for a quarterback. And if you just look at the signs around you, like typically you can't take rumors for face value, but if rumors are consistent with one another, like if you hear a rumor that Bill Belichick is interested in Justin Fields, and Bill Belichick is interested in Trey Lance, and Bill Belichick is interested in trading up if Justin Fields is available, then chances are Bill Belichick is down to trade for a quarterback somehow, some way. Now, whether that quarterback comes to the Patriots in the form of a NFL draft pick or if he comes in the form of a former player is a different conversation. So bear in mind, this isn't confirmed. This is just some guy that is telling a rumor in a very convincing way, and since I cover this stuff, I'm bringing it to you guys so we could discuss it. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for sure. That's not what we do here. As a matter of fact, you could usually tell if content is happening for sure on this channel if I write breaking in front of it. That's typically how you can confirm. So this comes, and this is where it's interesting. This man is named Dale Arnold, and if you look at what he does, he's the host of Boston Bruins games. So he does Boston sports radio. So he doesn't really have a direct tie to the New England Patriots. As a matter of fact, the way I'm at least categorizing this man is he's a New England Patriots fan with a decent following because he hosts Boston Bruins games. So this is what he tweeted out. From what I've been told by a reliable source, the Patriots are working on a new contract for Jimmy Garoppolo that could lead to a deal with the 49ers. This is coming from the same source who correctly told me Tom Brady had signed with the Buccaneers. That doesn't mean it will get done, but they are working on it. So I really like the way this is phrased because he doesn't make it seem like a foregone conclusion. He's saying that, hey, a buddy of mine who's a fairly reliable individual is saying that the Patriots are working on a new contract for Jimmy Garoppolo so they could potentially trade for him. And the way he backed this up was even more impressive. The same source who correctly told him that Tom Brady had signed with the Buccaneers. And then finally, he said it doesn't mean it will get done, but they are working on it. So I covered Tom Brady's free agency departure. It was probably one of the first pieces of news that I covered on this channel. And I remembered in the earlier parts of my career, I had to be a little bit more bold. And I don't know why I did this, but for some reason in my head, I thought that Tom Brady to the Buccaneers was a foregone conclusion, and I was able to get the video out like a whole day in advance. It was before the deal was official, so the fact that he cited this is actually making me trust him a little bit more. But here's my issue with it. Jimmy Garoppolo has always had trouble with injuries. I think he's beginning to trend towards a similar territory that is similar to what post-injury Alex Smith became, which is he's a very extremely high-end backup, but he's not someone that you could fully depend on year-round. There's just a lot of holes in this because there's no direct reason why the Patriots would want Jimmy Garoppolo at this time. They already have a reliable veteran QB in Cam Newton. At least if they were to trade up for Trey Lance, yeah, Trey Lance would need some time to develop. He could sit behind Cam Newton a little bit. That I understand. But having both Jimmy Garoppolo and Cam Newton on your team at the same time doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and that's where I'm a little skeptical about this. So we got an additional report from a person that I think is a little bit more reputable in my eyes. His name is Jeff Howie, and he's from The Athletic, and he tweeted out that nothing is happening between the Patriots and Jimmy Garoppolo at this time, according to two sources. He has a whole additional source. So I did a little bit of extra digging, and I realized that probably one of my favorite sources of all time, I don't know if it's Schefter or if it's Rappaport who's my favorite source, but either way, when Shefty or Rappaport say something, then I literally take it as gospel. So Schefter comes out and says, this is pretty simple to me. What teams out there outside of New England would you view as viable landing spots for Jimmy Garoppolo? Chicago made a move for a quarterback in Andy Dalton. Washington made a move for a veteran quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick. If they were going to do that, they should have traded for Jimmy Garoppolo back then, or tried to trade for him. Again, the 49ers were not in that draft position then, but they, the Bears and the Washington football team, have invested roughly 10 to 12 million in these guys, Dalton and Fitzpatrick. They're not going to bring on another veteran at 25 million. I don't see it. Not without a history, not without anything like that. To me, this is New England or no one if they're going to trade him. When you bring up Jimmy's no trade clause, it's irrelevant because I haven't asked Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm sure he'd be fine with a trade to New England. If San Francisco went to Jimmy G and said, we're trading you to New England, do you think he'd say no? No way. And then there's this one report saying that the 49ers are making a major effort to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. So there you go. That's every piece of information we have so far in regards to Jimmy G. This is definitely a piece that could definitely be traded in the middle of the NFL draft, or possibly after the NFL draft. So let me know what you guys think about all this. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.